Hey guys, Level Cap here, and welcome to Devlog number 35 for a spaceship video game that I'm making with my buddy Rich and a small community team. We're building the game in Unreal Engine 5, and today I got a ton of cool stuff to show you. We got brand new assets, an ammo depot, we've got the starts of a new cargo ship, we've got radars, textured engines, and we've also got a radar and waypoint system overhaul that Rich is going to talk about. Let's get into it, starting off with some of my favorite things, the assets. We've been building out our fleet of our boxy cargo ships over here, and we've got a new size 2 cargo ship in gray box right now. Island did the original concept art and block out model, and Johnny Popcorn is doing the bulk of the modeling work, and I'm prepping it for in-game usage. This ship will be a standard step up from the normal cargo ships, a little bit of extra weaponry, a lot more cargo room, slightly larger, not a ton of speed to it, but it's going to be a nice in-between step between small ships and starting to get to big ships. We also have some new rocket engines in the game. These were modeled out by Milkman, who has helped us in the past with some assets. We're replacing our old rocket engines, which were actually real rocket engines that I just grabbed from some asset websites, and now we've got some nice mid-poly models in here. This is a size 2, and we also have a gray box on a size 3, which isn't in the game yet. And frankly, we don't have any ships that run size 3 yet, but hopefully soon. I took it upon myself to start adding some of our radar variants to our ships. These are based on concept art from Island. I modeled them out, got them in game. These are all swappable on ships. So this would be a size 1 radar, and it's our A variant, so it'd be kind of a smaller one. Likewise, this is the B variant of a size 1 radar, and I was also thinking about giving some radars like better loot finding capabilities, where some might be designed more for combat so they could detect ships from further range and reduce your signature. And here is the C variant for a size 1 radar. As radars get bigger, we might actually switch to top-mounted variants or mess around with the styles a bit, so it'll be fun to jump down that rabbit hole. I also worked with Milkman to develop a model for our proximity mine. We've had the proximity mine in the game for a while, but we just had no actual mesh associated with it. So this is sort of the design for it. And now it actually shows up in our targeting window, which is nice. And in case you forgot what they do, well, they blow you up. Now, scavenging and looting is going to be a big part of this game, and one of the things that I've always liked from other games is finding a treasure chest or a crate or a container that you know is probably going to have something decent inside of it. And so I thought, what could be a good container in our game? Well, here is a military ammo depot. Their locations would only be known by corporations or the military, and if you come across them, you can maybe hack your way in. We haven't decided if we'll create a hacking mechanic or if you'll just be able to break in and grab all the loot that's inside. So you might be able to find ammo, fuel, weapons, that type of thing. Also, shout out to Kruger, one of our concept artists who helped conceive this unit, and plus a smuggler stash that we'll be working on next. He's also been helping us concept some of the larger stations that we're going to have in the game, and I did some preliminary white box testing with these just to get an idea for scale and what it would be like to fly around them. And it was absolutely crucial to do these white box tests early on, because I realized pretty quickly that we couldn't really observe a lot of the fun details of the station when we were up close and docking with it unless we were able to fly inside. So we ended up modifying the design real quick to allow for kind of some interior flight that I thought made it a little bit more interesting to approach the stations and then dock with them. Now, Rich, the tech lead on the project, has been developing a mission system, and with that comes a waypoint system and all other kinds of subsystems. Basically, missions touch everything. And one of the new updates he's added is highlighting objectives. It sounds simple, but there's actually a lot more logic behind it. So you can see we actually have the waypoint highlighted that we need to go to, so I can select it there and jump to this destination. But this jump sequence actually isn't just jumping from one destination to another. We're jumping to a series of destinations, all in the shortest line possible to get to our destination. So creating a highlighted objective system also required creating essentially a Google Maps for space based on how our regions are connected together. Also, just in case somebody mentions it, as it has been mentioned before, when we are over a star, I do know that the UI tends to get washed out. So we have some solutions for that in the works, but I'm going to let Rich explain the inner workings of this navigation system because it's kind of interesting.
Some missions are going to have objectives that are really far from where the player's at, and getting there could take multiple fast travel jumps and rarely in a straight line. So we need a system that can look at the entire graph of jump points and all the valid connections and calculate the shortest route for us. It's a lot like a navigation app on your phone. Then for the player, in your nav ring, when you're selecting a jump point, we want to highlight the one that is about to get you closest to your mission objective. To show you how it's going to work in game, I made a little diagram. So here we have this map of jump points. There's some bigger circles that are sort of hubs, and then each hub can service a small number of smaller jump points. You can't really jump from every jump point to every jump point due to certain rules with nav beacons and how jumping works. So when we connect them all, it looks like this. Now let's say the player has a mission there at point A and their objective is at point B. They need to find the shortest path to point B. Point A to point B here looks like a relatively short route. It's just 3 jumps. Unfortunately, in some cases, there might be something that is making the jump routes unsafe, so you can't go that way. We're going to have to route around them. So now these valid connections are no longer valid. So we can still run our algorithm and it'll get us the shortest route possible. In this case, when we run that, we get 5 jumps instead of 3. Now that we have this path, we can take this next jump point and highlight that in the nav ring for the player. So if you're wondering how we actually calculate the best route, we're using something called the Dijkstra algorithm. It's a pretty common algorithm for doing just this. And when you're using your phone to get directions, there's a chance that Dijkstra is being used.
So as you can see, we've been very busy with game dev, but we're not the only ones that have been busy. We have some Discord members that have actually posted some fan art of our spaceships, which is super cool. This first one here is from Black Maze, and he's recreated our size 3 cargo ship in Starfield, which is pretty cool. Starfield shipbuilder is pretty powerful, so his ability to recreate the ship accurately is impressive. Then Jono actually 3D printed a version of our little size 1 cargo ship, which is kind of like our starter ship, and it's pretty cool too. He modeled out his own version of what the ship looks like and painted it, and it's awesome. This is definitely something I want to pursue and start 3D printing our own ship models and painting them. Like, that will absolutely be a blast. If you guys would like to follow along more closely with our game development, check out our Discord linked in the video description. We post updates there more regularly and have conversation with the community about feedback and ideas. So great place to check it out. And if you want to know more about the devlog, check out the playlist here. We've got an overview on what the whole game is about. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.